Hi, I'm Judy Phillips. I am a little obsessed with theater, but you have to keep listening in order to find out why. I was born in 1937, and I am 79 years old. I was born in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and I grew up in Madison, Wisconsin, with my mother, father, and a younger sister. And when I got married, I adopted a son who's now 47 years old. As a young child, I loved to learn new things. My favorite class in high school was called Problems of Democracy, and I think I liked it because I had a great teacher. I love to dance, and that's pretty much what we'd call ballroom dancing. But I love to move, and any kind of dancing is fun. I went to one school for kindergarten, another school for first grade, and then another school second through sixth grade. And then junior high and high school were in one school. All throughout school, I was involved in orchestra, and I played a little bit when they put on musicals, but I was always in the background. And I loved singing. My role model in school was our chorus teacher, and I wanted to be like her. So my favorite movie star was Vera Ellen. She was a dancer and singer, and she could really move, and she was really cute, and so she did a wonderful job in the movies. I can't tell you the names of the movies. It was just that I thought she was a great movie star. In the orchestra, I wanted to play the flute in 7th grade, but when we were just about to choose our instruments, I found out I had to have braces, and you can't play the flute if you're wearing braces. So I didn't get to be in the orchestra until 9th grade, and then my girlfriend, who was in the orchestra, told me on the way home from school one day that they needed someone to play the bass viol, and that's the thing that's bigger than the cello. And I thought, well, I could do that. And so I went in and told them I was interested, and they showed me how to move the bow and where the fingers had to go. And so I played the bass viol for about 17 years, all through junior high, high school, college. And then after a while, I decided I wanted to do something when I was married, and so I joined a community orchestra and played, and at that point I lived in Denver and played in Boulder, Colorado in their orchestra. I was going backwards again. I was 9 at the end of World War II, and I used to spend my summers out at the lake at my grandfather's house, and he died in 1945, right at the end of the war, but my mother inherited the house, and so we would go out there, and so we'd be in the city in the wintertime, and then we'd go out to the lake in the summertime, and we had a wonderful time swimming twice a day in the lake, and learned how to canoe, and learned how to fish, and played with my cousins who all lived nearby. When I was working, my favorite job was working after the Northridge earthquake. I worked for FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and I did that for 5 years. There was a group of us 100 people who were selected by FEMA to go out to disasters all around the country. So I went down to Florida for a hurricane, and then to St. Thomas. I went to Texas when they were having tornadoes. I went up to South Dakota when there was a flood, and then I came back to Pasadena to do some kind of mop-up work for the Northridge earthquake. I was a stress manager, which meant that I was helping people on the staff deal with the stress of working for all the people who had lost their houses and maybe their pets, and the problems that people would bring to the folks who were trying to help them kind of builds up and makes tension in the workers. And so my job was to remind them to do some stretching and to drink water and to call home. A lot of them, my assignments were out of town, and so most of these other people were out of town too. So my job was to help them deal with their stress and maintain their ability to still work well. And it was a lot of fun because I had been trained as a counselor, and I really, really enjoyed working with a lot of different people in different parts of the country. When it was time to retire, we were living up in Granada Hills, and so my husband and I found out about something called a CCRC, which is a continuing care retirement community, and we ended up then at Walnut Village in Anaheim. And one of the men who moved into the Walnut Village used to be a music teacher at a high school, and he thought it would be fun if we put on some musical shows for folks who had their birthdays. So once a month, he started a birthday show, and he asked me to be in it. And so we have now done 82 consecutive performances for birthdays, and I am now one of the leading ladies in the birthday show, and I'm having a lot of fun. And what we do is lip sync to Broadway songs, and we put on costumes and makeup, and we wear wigs, and we get kind of silly, and we sing songs that come mostly from the 40s and 50s, and sometimes the 60s, and a little bit maybe into the 70s. So that's where my love of theater, and when we said I might be obsessed with the theater, that's kind of the end result of that statement. I don't know how long it'll go on, but as long as I can keep moving, I'm going to enjoy doing that. That's it. Bye-bye.